All right, we're joined by former UFC champion Rashad Evans, who ended his retirement and picked up a big win. Rashad, how's it going, man?
It's going good, going really good.
Obviously, that's the first thing I want to touch on. Like, you kind of hinted at ending your retirement, like, I think what, maybe 1 or 2 years ago? Like, what kind of finally was the reason to do it?
Um, it was a few different things. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt as if ending my career the way that I did, it didn't sit well with me. But um, just doing a lot of soul searching over the last few years, I was able to sort some things out with myself that brought back that competitive edge, and also just some of the things that the pandemic and things like that kind of put things in perspective. It made me want to compete, and it made me seeing competing and everything just, in general that I love to do with just a new light because, it just kind of felt as if we were running out of time to do the things that we truly love to do.
And you got your release from the UFC to do this. Like, what kind of drew you to go to Eagle FC to make your return?
You know, uh, it was a good opportunity because I felt like the situation was evenly yoked. You have, you know, um, the organization coming over here, Eagle FC, coming over here for its debut, and I was making my way back. So it felt like new beginnings all around, and it just kind of felt as if I would fit in best with just the newness that was going on already with the Eagle FC coming to America for the first time.
And your opponent, Gabriel Checco, like obviously a very good grappler. Like, is that someone you wanted to fight, or is it just who Eagle gave you?
It's who Eagle gave me. It was I had a few different people, but it didn't end up working out, and it just kind of worked out that Eagle FC and Gabriel Checco, he wanted to fight me, so it was most likely, most definitely, yeah.
It was a very good performance from yourselves. Like, how happy were you with that?
I was extremely happy. I was very happy. It was a long time since I competed, so being able to go in there and compete the way that I did, it meant a lot to me because you just never know how things are going to go when you make a comeback. I've ran a scenario in my mind a million times, and it come out a bunch of different ways, and I'm just happy that it came out, the way that I truly wanted it to.
Like, what were the nerves like? Just because obviously you fought for UFC belts before, but like to me, like I feel like this would be one of the more nervous times, just because it is your return. You never really know how you're gonna do.
It was pretty nerve wracking, to be honest. It was just like I was doing it over again for the first time, but even worse than the first time because when I did it for the first time, I didn't know what to fear. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know what I had to fear, but now I know everything I had to fear, and I still had to go in there and, and do it. I know what it's like to lose on, a devastating way. I know what it's like to lose in many different ways. So, just the thought of all the things that can happen, it played in my mind differently. And making a comeback after being away for so long, I wanted to do well. I wanted to go out there and give a good representation of myself, but more importantly, just make it so that when it's something that I can live with, because the hell what everybody else says. If I can live with it, then it's cool.
Did you hear a lot of like pushback from you when this fight was announced? Like, were there a lot of people saying like, "Why are you doing this?" or "Don't do this"?
Yeah, you had a lot of people, yeah, they hit me up on IG or on Twitter or something, and they'd be like, "Oh, don't do this. You're gonna get beat. What I'm saying? You suck." All those nice things that people say. But it motivated me. It just kind of, it really lit a fire under me, and it made me push harder. It made me want to do it even more because, you know, um, in my mind, I was thinking like, this is what people really think of you, and it kind of put a chip on my shoulder so that there was no backing out of it for me, no matter how nervous or no matter how much anxiety that I had leading up to it. There was nothing else going to pull me out of that fight. And, I was locked in once I was once I determined that I was going to do it, I was mentally locked in.
How much pressure were you kind of putting on yourself to go and get the win?
Um, Quite a bit of pressure, even though I told myself that I really wasn't, but I put pressure on myself, and I felt as if like I needed to put that pressure on myself. I needed to feel as if like I needed to fight with urgency. I needed to have that feeling in my stomach like if I don't win this fight, then everything that I work for is going to be done. And I needed to put myself on that mental plane. So I went out there and I fought different. Sometimes when I don't put that pressure on myself, I don't fight like I have that pressure on myself. And fighting is a game of urgency. It's a game of making sure you go out there and then you impose your will. And the name of the game is imposing your will before he imposes his will on you. So uh, going out there, being first, going out there, making sure that I was leading the dance was something that was playing highly in my mind.
You get your hand raised. Like, what are those emotions like?
Oh man, it was crazy, because I haven't had my hand raised since 2013. So it kind of felt, it was just it was something I haven't felt in a long time, and it was something that I missed. I missed that feeling. I missed that feeling of what it feels like to go out there and to achieve your goal, and to really look back on it with fondness. For years and years I struggled to get that win, and it left me in a place where I kind of felt like I lost a bit of confidence in my abilities to fight, and just the mindset of who I thought I was as a competitor. It took a bit of a hit, but being able to go in there and face that, go in there and face the things that made me afraid, it really brought out something special in me, and I really enjoyed that night.
What was fight week like for Eagle? Because any people I've talked to, like they said it was very well run, especially for their first US show.
Yeah, it was very well run. It was like a well-oiled machine. The way that they had everybody on the same page, and everybody knew where they needed to be, and there was little stress, when it comes to making sure that we were at the place that we needed to be. They done a really good job of communicating with us, and it wasn't such a heavy workload as far as like doing a bunch of interviews. They kind of understood the fact that we are there to perform. Getting ready to perform was the highest of their concerns, and they want to make sure that we felt comfortable and we were mentally there and not too drained out in order to perform. But smooth week, very good. I've mainly been around the UFC experience, although I have through being with other fighters, been in organizations and helping them get ready for the fight, and felt fight weeks in these other organizations. And nothing is quite as smooth as the UFC because it's a well-oiled machine, but Eagle FC was definitely up there.
And how pleased were you with your performance? Because I thought when you went to scorecards, like it was a very good performance, and I think everyone kind of knew you won.
I was pleased with it. I felt as if like there were some times where, I could have seized on some opportunities to finish the fight. Um, I got a little bit loose in certain positions, and especially in a crucifix position that didn't really transition to different things that I know to transition to. But I also gave myself the benefit of the doubt. I haven't been here in a long time, and there's a lot of things that I had going through my mind, and just kind of uh, different kind of mental situations I had going on when I was out there fighting. So I understand that, a little bit excited, but overall I was very happy.
What is the plan? Like, is that it, or are you gonna do at least one more or a couple more?
I don't know. I keep asking myself this question over and over again. What is it going to be? Am I going to go out there and compete again, or I'm just going to leave it as it is? It feels good to be on this high note, and a big part of me just says, just stay here. I mean, at this point of where I'm at in my life, you know, I feel as if like, I don't really have much to fight for, but you know, fighting for me has always just been about that personal journey, about that the test in myself, and I feel like I felt like I've passed the test that I needed to pass in myself, but that's the way I feel right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the gym. I'm still training. I'm still working alongside these young fighters, getting them ready to compete. So I'm sure, maybe somewhere down the road, something to pop up for me where I'm just like, you know what, let me get one more, but I'm just going to take my time with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm 43, 42 years old, and we'll see.
Was part of this though too just wanting to end your career on a win? Because you see a lot of fighters don't get that chance to do it and they end on that loss.
Yeah, that's a big part of it for me. That's a huge part of it for me. And rather, if I'll do this again, is the fact that, I got the win that I've been so desperately trying to get, and now that I got that win, I don't want to trade places and get a loss. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to walk around with that stain because, when you're a younger fighter, you're just like, all right, I'll get them the next time, and there'll be another opportunity. But when you're up there in age, you don't, the opportunities that you have, they're not there so much. So, uh, just got to be smart about it and make sure that I'm doing what's best for me and not trying to feed the ego part of me that just wants to go out there and do it, just to do it. I want to make sure that if I do it again, it's something yearning in me like it was this last time I competed.
Are you still under contract for Eagle, or is this just like a one fight kind of one off deal?
It was a one fight deal. It was a one fight deal. Um, but I feel like if I wanted to, and I talked to Habib and I talked to Ali, they'll put me back in. But as it stands right now, it was just a one off deal.
Is that something you wanted to? Just because then you're not kind of forced. If there is a second fight on that contract, you kind of just feel like you gotta fight it out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of happy the way that it is right now, just because for that exact reason. Sometimes you got to protect yourself from yourself. So I'm just gonna, just uh, enjoy the victory and just kind of, work on other projects that I've been working on. I'm launching a mushroom company called Umbo, and it's a functional mushroom company, not psychedelic. So and also, I'm working on the Medito Gang project that I've been working on the NFT collection. So I've got a few things working on that I've been, just kind of, just doing while I've been away from the sport.
Just a few more things. I just want to touch on some of the guys you've worked with. Is obviously Kamaru Usman. You've worked with him for a while. Like, did you think he'd be like this dominant and this good when you started training with him?
I knew he was good. I knew he was good. I knew he was going to be tough. Did I expect this? No, I did not expect this. So I just knew that when it came to having a work ethic and when it came to training and being that partner and pushing me to my limits, I knew he was that guy. In order to be the guy that he is right now, um, he had to tap into that other side of him. He definitely tapped into something in himself that I'm sure he probably surprised himself with knowing that he had. I mean, when you become a champion, and the formula to be a champion is very hard mixture. It's a little sprinkle of this, a little dash of this, a little bit of this, but it's nothing too much. And really no one could make the perfect recipe, but you can line some things up together and get kind of close. But that extra dash or that extra pinch of this, it has to come from the person who is going to truly make that formula and really become that champion. And he did that. He did that. He found that thing. So yeah, I thought that he had talent. I thought that he definitely had the work ethic. I thought he definitely had the mindset. But what he's pulling out now is he's showing me something different. But I
How
mean, he's been around. He's been around champions his whole career. He was brought up in a championship environment. Alistair Overeem, Tyrone Spong, Vitor Belfort, myself. Anthony Johnson, all these guys that just competed at the next level. He got a chance to be and see that every single day. So that became part of his reality and understanding that those goals and they're very attainable.
how much longer do you kind of think he's gonna go for? Because for like a couple of years ago, I remember he was like saying he was gonna retire because he couldn't get fights and his knees were bad. But like now there's like not a whole lot there for him, and he won't go up to middleweight with Izzy there. So like I don't really know unless he just wants to keep fighting, like rematching these guys and beating them again and again.
He's gonna go until he gets bored. He keeps on finding a way to reinvent the game in his mind. And that's what it's all about. When you reach a certain level and you reach the highest of the sport, you have to recreate the game in your mind. You have to recreate what your goal is and the objectives are, because stagnation and thinking about things the same way over and over again, it may not motivate you the same way. But then you have to realize that you have some young, hungry competitors looking to take your spot. And if you're not able to meet them with that, same kind of or same uh, mindset where you're looking to be the best and you're looking to prove something, then you're gonna get devoured. But he's able to recreate the game in his mind. So I don't know how many times he's going to recreate that in his mind and continue to be the one, even though he's on top, to feel like he's chasing. I don't know how long he's going to be able to do that. I would think as long as his body holds up. He usually goes into a fight with some kind of bang up injury because his body's been through a lot, but he finds a way to get it done no matter how his body's truly feeling.
Who do you think kind of poses the biggest problem to him? Because like looking down the ranks, like there's not many guys that can wrestle like him or kind of strike like him. Like the one name everyone brings up is obviously Shemaya, but he hasn't really fought anyone, so you don't really know how high of it. Like he hasn't fought anyone in the top tens. You don't really know how good he is.
Yeah, it's different. It's difficult to say because one thing I know about Kamaru is, as good as we've seen him, he gets even better when he has a better dance partner in there. You know what I'm saying? Like he rises to the level of his competition, and so when I say that, I don't see too many guys that they're doing too much that's going to give him that much problems. Maybe a Shemaya can give him a little bit of trouble, but I think that one thing about Kamaru is his pace, and he's unbelievably strong and he has a very high fight IQ, and you can't really make too many mistakes against a guy like Kamaru just because of the fact that all he needs is just to see that little chink in the armor, and he's going to find a way to keep on finding a way. He's going to find a way to keep on exploiting you. So, I don't know. It's a toss up. There's a lot of guys uh, in the 170 weight class that are coming up and that are very hungry. The bully
Mhm.
Bilal Muhammad. He's driven. He's a guy who you wouldn't look at and you would see that he's a problem, but with the mindset and with the drive and determination that he has, he's somebody that can give a lot of people problems because of the fact that he may come off as unassuming and he's such a hard worker and has a lot of like he's good everywhere, but it can get overlooked sometimes because he doesn't have those kind of things that you see a lot of other guys in weight class, like that flashy knockout power or anything like that. He's just a really hard worker. But that's the kind of guys that are in his weight class. You got a bunch of guys like that are just a bunch of dogs willing to rise to the occasion at any given time.
Just last thing, kind of like a two-parter. A guy you trained for a long time was Jon Jones. Like, do you think he ever makes that move to heavyweight? And if you do, like, how do you think he does?
I think he does make that move to heavyweight. I mean, he's already there. He's already put the investment in. He's putting the time in. He's rounding out a skill set at a heavyweight body and really making sure that he's dotting his I's and crossing his T's. Very very methodical and very smart the way he's going about it. And I don't think he's going to let that go to waste. I think that he's going to find a way to get under control whatever he needs to get under control and go out there and compete. As far as do I think he can compete out there with those guys? 100%. I think that Jon Jones is probably one of the scariest guys in the weight class, apart from Francis and stuff like that. But I just feel like with Jon Jones, there's so many things that he's yet to unlock still, because now he's going against a heavyweight body, and there's things that heavyweights, they may struggle with versus being a light heavyweight. So there's going to be a whole new part of his game that he can open up, and I imagine that he's going to gear that effort more towards the grappling side. I think that he's going to really. I think the second time around, you're going to see Jon Jones utilize more of his grappling and fight a little bit smarter. Getting these guys to really compete where he's the strongest at. And I think that his ground game is really going to stand out, and his ability to take people down and the pace that he's going to be able to set is really going to stand out with the heavyweight division. When I see guys like Serial Gone and stuff like that, I feel like, on the feet, they may be able to hang with them in some areas because you have the power aspect, but you also have an athlete in Serial Gone who moves like a lightweight, So, I think somebody like that can give him some problems or just kind of give him some pause on the stand up. But, I think when it comes to just utilizing, the ground game, I think he's really going to do his thing with that.
Well, Rashad, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. No problem, man. I'll talk to you soon.